Every year, this cheese moves over $38 billion globally, and the average American eats more than 12 pounds of it, most of it melted on pizza. But behind that pull-apart magic is a high-speed factory process that blends tradition, precision, and serious dairy science. And we will be uncovering all of that here at The Process World. Mozzarella's story begins over 1,300 years ago in the Italian city of Aversa in the Campania region. Back then, it was made by accident when hot weather and poor refrigeration caused milk to curdle faster than expected. Locals learned to work with that natural fermentation, eventually mastering a method to create what we now know as mozzarella. Over time, they started using water buffalo milk, which had a richer fat content and gave the cheese a smoother, creamier taste. By the 16th century, mozzarella made from buffalo milk was already a prized delicacy across southern Italy. It wasn't produced in massive quantities, though. Everything was done by hand, and the cheese had to be eaten fresh within a day or two. That's why it stayed mostly local for centuries. For instance, mozzarella has become a household favorite across the Middle East, especially in the Gulf countries, where pizza and pasta chains have exploded in popularity over the last 2 decades. What changed everything was refrigeration and industrial pasteurization. Those 2 innovations allowed mozzarella to be preserved longer and produced at scale without sacrificing quality. That opened the door for mass production, but the real work still begins at the source.
The entire process starts long before the cheese factory, even before the milk truck pulls in. It begins on specialized farms that raise water buffalo, the animals behind traditional mozzarella. These farms focus heavily on animal care. The buffalo are fed a carefully balanced diet packed with nutrients to make sure the milk they produce is rich, clean, and high in fat. That fat is a big deal. It's what gives mozzarella its signature softness and mild flavor. Milking is done either manually or with modern machines, depending on the size of the farm. Either way, hygiene is a top priority. Everything from the equipment to the handling process is closely monitored to protect both the milk and the animals. Once collected, the milk doesn't sit around. It's pumped into refrigerated tanks right there on the farm to keep it fresh. From that moment on, temperature control becomes critical. If the milk warms up, bacteria can start growing fast, which would ruin the batch. Once the buffalo milk is collected, it doesn't head straight to the factory. First, it goes through a series of quality checks right there on the farm. Now, these tests look at fat levels, protein content, acidity, and any signs of contamination. If something's off, that batch gets rejected immediately. Only the milk that meets strict standards moves forward. Next, it's loaded into large stainless steel tanker trucks that are built to keep the milk cold, usually between 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. These trucks are more than just transport vehicles. They're part of the cold chain system that protects the milk from spoilage. Each truck can carry up to 30,000 liters, and everyone is cleaned thoroughly after every trip to avoid cross-contamination. The entire journey from farm to factory is tightly controlled. Even slight temperature changes can affect the flavor and safety of the final cheese. So from the moment the milk leaves the farm, it's on a monitored path that keeps it clean, fresh, and ready for production. Without this step, the rest of the process wouldn't even matter. The milk has to arrive in perfect condition or mozzarella doesn't happen. But before we get into the next step, please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Now moving on. As soon as the milk arrives at the factory, it's pumped into massive storage tanks where the temperature is kept steady and cold. Before anything else happens, the milk is tested again, this time more thoroughly. Technicians check for acidity levels, fat percentage, protein balance, and any potential contaminants. It's like a second layer of defense, making sure only clean, stable milk makes it to the next step. Then comes pasteurization, and this part is non-negotiable. The milk is heated to a specific temperature, usually around 72 degrees Celsius, for a short time, just enough to kill off harmful bacteria without damaging the milk's natural taste. Right after heating, it's cooled down quickly to stop the process in its tracks. This rapid heat then cool cycle is what keeps the milk both safe and flavorful. After pasteurization, the milk is ready to start transforming. Coagulation station. The next stage is for the milk to get pumped into a huge stainless steel vat that can hold up to 95,000 liters. This is where things start to take shape. The factory adds 2 key ingredients, lactic cultures and rennet. The lactic cultures are made up of good bacteria that feed on the milk sugars and slowly raise the acidity. This step helps develop the flavor and gets the milk ready to solidify. Then comes the rennet. This enzyme is traditionally taken from the stomach of young calves and is crucial for curdling. Once it's mixed into the milk, the proteins begin to bond and thicken. After a short resting period, the liquid milk starts turning into a soft, jelly-like mass. That's the curd. Now, the cutting begins. Long stainless steel blades slice the curd into smaller chunks to start separating the solid curd from the liquid whey. This isn't just about draining. It's about controlling the final texture. That slicing step sets everything in motion, and now the curd needs heat to take on its final form.
You see, once the curd is sliced, it starts releasing whey, the liquid that doesn't turn into cheese. This part is all about control. The goal is to remove just enough moisture while keeping the proteins dense and ready for the next transformation. As the curd pieces sit, the whey continues to drain off slowly. Then it's time to turn up the heat. The curd goes through a gradual heating process. It's not rushed. The temperature is increased step by step while the curd is gently stirred. This heating firms it up and starts building the texture mozzarella is famous for. During this phase, the curd becomes more compact and elastic. It's like prepping dough before kneading. It has to reach the right stretchiness before moving forward. Once the curd is fully heated, it moves into the part of the process that gives mozzarella its signature stretch. Hot water or whey, heated to around 95 degrees Celsius, is added, softening the curd just enough to begin the transformation. Mechanical arms or paddles take over, stretching and kneading the curd until it becomes glossy, smooth, and elastic. With the right elasticity achieved, the cheese is ready to be shaped. Still warm and pliable, the mozzarella is dropped in the molds that define whether it'll be formed into balls, bars, or blocks. Each mold is designed to keep the size, weight, and structure consistent. Automated machines handle this part quickly and cleanly, making sure there are no cracks or uneven edges. As the molds move through a cooling zone, the cheese begins to firm up. The cold air or water halts the stretching and locks everything into place. Now the mozzarella holds its shape, looks polished, and is ready for the next step.
After molding, the mozzarella heads straight into a brine bath. This is a chilled solution made with water and salt, and it plays a major role in both flavor and shelf life. The cheese soaks in the brine for anywhere between 4 to 10 hours, depending on the size and type of product. During that time, the salt slowly works its way through the surface, enhancing the taste and helping the cheese hold its moisture. The temperature in the brine tank is usually kept at around 2 degrees Celsius to maintain firmness and avoid over-softening. This step also allows the cheese to finish cooling completely, locking in the structure that was formed during stretching and molding. With the brining done and the cheese fully cooled, the mozzarella is ready for its final step, packaging. This isn't just about putting it in a wrapper. It's about keeping the cheese fresh, safe, and ready to travel across cities or even countries without losing quality. In most factories, the mozzarella is vacuum sealed using machines that remove air from the packaging. That prevents bacteria from growing and keeps the moisture locked inside. Some mozzarella is packed in its own liquid, especially the softer types that need to stay hydrated. Others, like shredded or low moisture versions, are packaged dry and chilled right away. Each type has its own packaging method based on how it's used, whether it's going on a pizza, into a salad, or straight onto a sandwich. The factory line moves fast here. Conveyor belts feed the cheese into sealing machines, labels are applied automatically, and quality control checks make sure the weight, seal, and temperature are spot on. From there, it's boxed, stored in cold rooms, and prepped for shipping. So, now that you've seen how milk from a buffalo turns into the stretchy, melty legend we call mozzarella, here's the real question. If a single cheese can go through that much science, skill, and precision, what other everyday foods are hiding factory secrets you've never even thought about? Share your thoughts in the comment section below as you leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one.